Hey, this is your girl Forever Trina coming back at you with another Married at First Sight review. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. If you are back, welcome back, fam. Appreciate the love and appreciate you. Before we get started, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notification bell so that when I drop a new video, you'll be the first to know. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Katina and Olajuwon today. I actually have the least amount about them. I spent a lot of time on them during our last session together, so they're not gonna get as much screen time from me. I really don't have anything new to say regarding this situation that happened before or that happened on the last episode. So I'll just kind of briefly run down the notes I took for them today and we'll keep it moving. So they back together, of course. She's sorry, he's sorry. They moving forward. That's all I got about that. Personally, I think they both need a counselor. Like, I feel she's still dealing with some unresolved issues from past relationships, hurt, pain that hasn't really been dealt with, that a counselor can probably help her process that and get through some of that. I just really think that's still kind of resonating on, like, it's just on the surface. I can really see that. And he needs a counselor. He has anger issues. He has a lot of different issues. He probably has unresolved childhood issues as well. May have mommy issues, daddy issues. It's probably it's a bulk of things. But he would benefit from diving into a personal counselor as well. All right, so the next scene I have is the conversation Olajuwon was having with his coach. He was actually dropping some knowledge and a few gems here and there, so I appreciate that from him. But he basically recapped what happened with the whole app on Katina's phone situation. Of course, in my opinion, he played it down. He's never going to make himself look like the bad guy. He's going to really downplay it. He's going to, he mentioned he was talking passionately. In my opinion, you were talking rude. So passion and rude, those are two different things. But again, he's going to play down his part in the situation, and that's what he did. Again, the coach gave really good advice. He said, play with your emotions when they're, I don't know what sport he played. Was it football maybe? He said something that he's told him in the past, play with your emotion, but don't let your emotion play with you. Clearly, he's not let that stick with him because his emotions are really still playing with him. I just go back and forth with Olajuwon. But actually, this is probably true for people in general. Usually when the reaction of anger comes out when you're mad at someone or a spouse or, significant other or whatever, usually the underlying thing is hurt. I have seen that because there's times when I've lashed out and I got an attitude and I'm popping off and my friends have pointed out, oh, Trina, you just hurt. He hurt your feelings. So apparently his feelings was hurt and he acted out. So he definitely needs to learn how to better express himself when his feelings are just a little bit hurt, because it's going to happen again. You're married, feelings get hurt. It's just what it is. Any relationship, if you're dealing with people, expect it. So you have to learn how to work through those types of situations versus just, having diarrhea at the mouth, saying what you need to say in that moment and then having to backtrack and apologize at a later date. So that's really all I have from them. I know there was a conversation with Katina and I don't know if that was her friend or sister-in-law or somebody. There was a conversation with them. I didn't really get much out of it. She basically, again, recapped the situation. There was really no new gems or anything I really got from that. Sis didn't really say too much. Katina, in a way, she did say a few things about how it took her back, like him yelling at her. Again, she needs counseling. It took her back to past situations. That's a trigger, which it should be. Anyone yelling at you, especially your husband, in that way, it should absolutely be a trigger. But I think she internalizes it a little bit more. So that was the only thing I really got from that, where she was saying, they've talked about that. She was just like, don't talk at me, talk to me. And so she was like, that would have been a good situation for him to do that and to exercise, that type of constraint and that type of control. And he just did not. So that was that conversation. I didn't really have anything else. So we're just going to go ahead and move on from that. They're moving on, so we're going to move on too. All right, so Lindsay and Mark. The first scene I have notes about that cat. That cat with the he got like a half face, is like black and something else. I don't like him. Like, he just looked weird to me. I just thought I should just point that out. But I don't really like cats anyway, and I don't. The cat's name is Chloe. Chloe the cat. I don't really like Chloe the cat. But anyway, that's all I had. Mark, he decided to do some type of board, like a chore board, or I don't know what he did. Anyway, he did a whiteboard to basically go over, I guess, different chores they would do out the week, or basically how they're going to set up their week, just to be intentional about the relationship. I actually thought that was really cool, to be intentional about spending time together, be intentional about whatever, just growing in the relationship. So to me, it showed, okay, I'm still in it, and this is something different I'm going to try. So it showed me that he's trying to be intentional about, okay, I'm here. I don't like stuff you've been doing. You really piss me off a lot of the time, but you know what? Let me make the best of it, and maybe this will help. So I do like that he put forth that effort. We're going to see if they do it consistently. And later on, I think they didn't, because Lindsay got upset like, yo, you ain't even do it. You put forth, hey, we're going to do this, and this, and then it didn't happen. But I'm sure there's more to that story. There's always more to the story with Lindsay. So next scene, they're at the farmer's market. Mark just seemed annoyed. Like, she was like, do you want this? Nope. You want this? Nope. Do you want this? No, I said I don't. But he was saying that there's two parts. He probably doesn't have a very, his palate is very small, which I'm kind of like him. I don't have a huge palate. I'm super, super picky about the food that I eat. And I don't try a whole lot of stuff. And if you try to force me to try it, we ain't going to be friends. So that's just me. So I feel Mark like, yo, I don't want it. And then also his other thing was they're on a budget. I guess they decided we're going to only spend $150. And so it looked like they was walking through the organic section of the farmer's market or super. I don't know where they were. It looked like a farmer's market. They were on the outside. And so organic is expensive by itself, and it's fruit. So it's fruit he don't even eat. So he was just like, nah, Ninja, I don't want none of it. I don't like Sasquatch. I don't like nothing. So he just seems so annoyed. But then when they got into the store, she continued her little rant. You want this? Nope. You want this? Nope. You want some bacon? Oh yeah, I like some bacon. Mark, boo. We know. So he did pipe up on that one. Next scene with them, Mark is in the house with Lindsay. Apparently there was some laundry faux pas where I don't really know what happened, because when you have me read captions, it is going too fast. I'm like, what happened? I can't read that fast. So apparently he washed something that he wasn't supposed to wash, and it messed it up. And maybe she told him a couple of times, don't wash this. I got it. I don't know. Anyway, she's upset. She's mad. Also, the whiteboard's not going well. Apparently, she following it. He's not. Yeah. And then she mentioned something about she wants to know the budget for rent. He's not able to give her that. And then I was like, Lindsay, you can't really push him on the budget for nothing, because you went over the budget at the store when you was doing the organic shopping. Shut up. So it just with them, I don't know. I was looking at when I was watching it, I'm like, I don't even know what to say no more, because all of the couples got communication issues. All of them have communication issues. Like, all of them need to go to Communication 101. Honestly, everybody in life probably needs to do that. But anyway, because we're watching them on TV, we're going to talk about them. They all need, because it's like slight things in how they're communicating could change like the whole trajectory of their relationship. Like, she does not see that she is aggressive, and he doesn't take well to that. He will shut down. Like I think I told y'all that before, that me and my husband, we did premarital counseling, and we still see a counselor today. We're in year 1, so we trying to get this. We need somebody to talk us through this stuff. We both grown. We live by ourselves and we're doing our own things for a while. So to combine two different people, like my counselor always says, 2 different DNA. Y'all are totally different, and to try to make that work under one roof and combine your lives, it's not easy. And so one thing that in our counseling session, they were talking about our different temperaments. We have very different temperaments. So the way I speak to him, sometimes it's not received in some of the way he reacts or things like that. I'm just like, what? This don't make no sense to me. So they have definitely have different temperaments. She is very aggressive. And it seemed like Mark the Shark may have been the aggressive one Married at First Sight, but he's taken on that backseat role because she's an aggressor. She's an aggressive person. And so if she can just see how her voice, how her tone, how her actions are pushing him away, and maybe if she watches this afterwards, she'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have grabbed his arm like that. That was a bit aggressive. Maybe it'll sink in, but right now she doesn't see that, and it turns him way off. And then he shuts down. He doesn't talk. He does have to find a way to still communicate. But she does have to find a way. She just needs to shut up, because she does interrupt him and does not let him get out everything he needs to say. So again, that communication gap, not understanding your spouse's communication style, will definitely get in the way regarding communication. Period. And that's where that I am, because it's like it's almost like a tennis match. I'm looking at one, I'm looking at the other, I'm looking at one. I'm just like, I see pros and cons on both sides. I see where you can improve, Mark. I see, Lindsay, you got a lot of improvement as well. But then she sometimes got some good points too. So it's hard for me to really pinpoint who's the issue. They both the issue, honestly. But her aggressiveness, if she does not self-assess really soon, they're gonna self-destruct. That's just what's going to happen. So Lindsay tried to do something sweet and do a shark photo shoot with the cats in these little outfits. I would say it was cute, but it wasn't cute. It was I or whatever. But they did. But before they even got there, I think they were doing dinner. And Lindsay's just so pushy. She's like, try this, try the sauce. He don't want it, Lindsay. This is part of what he's talking about. Like, if I say no, it's no. I understand you want to open his eyes to the world. Like Aladdin, I will show you the world. But he okay. He's okay with his little part of the world. Just do it in, like, take baby steps with Mark. That's all. He's a baby shark. Take baby steps with baby shark Mark, please. So she pushing him to try something. Finally, he was just like, okay, fine. She was like, do you like it? He was like, nah. He probably did like it, but he was like, I'm not giving you that. So before they can even do the photo shoot, they already started arguing. I don't know. I don't have too much more to say about. They clash in their communication styles. The lady comes over to do the photo shoot. Lindsay had already bounced. She comes back and she goes to the room, and then she's basically like, well, if he wants me to stay for the photo shoot, he's gonna have to ask me to stay. Like, he has to want me to be in the photo shoot for me to want to do it, because I don't want to do it. But if he wants me to do it and he expresses that, then I'm like, don't play these games. Just say what you want. And that's the thing with relationships. Say what you effing want. Don't have this person trying to read your mind, trying to figure out what you need, what you want. Express what you need and what you want from your spouse. It is not a game. It is not, 50 questions to try to figure you out. Just tell me. I ain't got time for that. So that was kind of annoying me, because I'm just like, now we playing games. But it's, again, she's hurt, and so she's going to play this game. Well, he got to want me before I do it. That's an issue in relationships. It's just like, just be the bigger person. Just be like, you know what, babe, I'm hurt. This hurt me when you said that, but you know what, we're going to move forward from this. It's just, I think everybody, both Mark and Lindsay, all the couples, they need just more self-reflection. Focus more on things that they are not doing the best, how they're not bringing their best selves to the relationship. Focus more on that than all the negativity of the other person. And that would help, like, by leaps and bounds. But yeah, that particular scenario where she's just like, well, he needs to ask me. I'm like, yo, we are grown. We are grown people. Don't do that. So that kind of bothered me. But yeah, so that's all I really got for them. I don't know if they're gonna, actually I don't think they're gonna work. They're a no for me. They may be a yes on decision day, but they're a no. They're not gonna stay together. Moving on to Jasmine and Michael. So Jasmine and Michael, this episode, I was really feeling them. They seem to be communicating, not even seem, they are communicating a lot better. I was like, okay, Jasmine, okay, Michael. I was like, y'all better do that. So that was really good. I did like that. About them. So first scene with them, Katina came over to talk about this situation. Again, she's talking about his tone, and how she is starting to see red flags. Babe, we've been seeing red flags, but if this is the first time you seeing red flags, I'm sure she's seen them, but they're kind of like Paige from the Atlanta season with Chris. She was just like, I don't see red flags. They're like yellow. No, boo. They red. So, yeah, she's talking about the whole situation. Michael tried to explain why Olajuwon got so upset, or kind of his point of view. And I was just like, no, Michael, no. You hush. You stay over there in the corner. There's no excuse for this. It was an app. And then I think it was on the after show. I watched a little bit of the after show. Someone up there, I don't know. Oh, no. Olajuwon actually said after that, I guess they had a conversation behind the scenes. And Christina was just like, if I was trying to hide it from you, it wouldn't have been on the first page of my phone. It would have been like on page 3 or 10. But it's like right on the home page. And I'm literally, if you ask for my phone, I'm like, here's my phone. That means I'm not trying to hide nothing. So he was like, yeah, that made sense. Yeah, if you would have just stopped and had a conversation first, then you would have figured all that out. But you went and just like went from 0 to 10 in like 2 seconds and did not allow her to speak. That's another thing. I told you I was not going to spend time on him. But that's another thing. He doesn't allow her to speak. Yeah, the girl was just like, yeah, just voice, how you feel to him. And she was just like, if he allows me to. That is not good. When you're just like, I want to voice myself, my opinion, my truth, how I feel, my emotions, whatever. So the person I'm with, if they allow me to, like, she knows that he's that volatile. Like, he's just that, he pops off so quickly, and then he doesn't let her speak. He was just like, because even when they replayed the scene from last week, I was noticing again, I was like, she tries to speak, he talks over her. She tries to speak again, he talks over her. And I'm just like, that's not a way to have a conversation. It's one speak, another speak, and it's back and forth. It's not, you're not allowing her to speak and say anything and give her opinion, give nothing. So that is very, very unhealthy. So next scene, Michael and O are talking. O, he's not apologetic. So they must have didn't have the behind the scenes conversation just yet, because he's still not apologetic in this scene. And so not apologetic, but basically still saying, she had the app on the phone. She shouldn't have had the app. You're married. All his ranting from the other week, from a couple of weeks ago, pretty much is what he's still saying. And then the part where he said, I want her to sit and think about what she did. I literally thought about a parent who says that to their child. They're just like, now you sit there, you think about what you just did. You took that cookie out the jar, and I told you weren't supposed to do that. You sit and you think about it, and I'll come back. You stay in that little timeout chair, or turn the chair towards the wall, and I'll get back to you. That's how I felt, is what he said to me. I just want her to sit and think about how she feels, and she needs to, be apologetic about it, and then maybe we could move forward. I'm just like, bruh, no. She is an adult. Yeah, she is. She's your spouse. She's your equal, and she is not your child. So I was just sitting there like, Jesus, take the wheel, because I'm about to run this dude over. Like, it was so oh, it was hard to hear. But anyway, he's always overreacting. Just, yeah. But yeah, I don't have too much more to say about that. I told you I was not going to spend time on him today. I told you that. And yet it's still, he pulls me in. But yeah, so again, he's talking about the app, talking about how, you know, she shouldn't have had it, and she don't know if she's moving dirty. Just because you would move dirty if you had an app on your phone, Olajuwon, does not mean that girl is doing the same things. That's really what it is. He knew what he would have been doing if he had an app on his phone. He's talking about, I deleted Instagram, I deleted this, I did that. Yeah, because that's what you needed to do to put safeguards around yourself, because you know how you are. She need to do that. There's apps on my phone. I know there's apps on my phone that I'm just like, I don't know about it, because I don't look at them. Plus, I have folders on my phone, so then there's a bunch of apps in those folders. And in those folders, there's like 2 or 3 screens. I don't know where all the apps are. It's like, calm down, dude. Just literally calm down. So that was their little conversation. Then it gets to another scene where Michael is eating Mr. Feeney cookie. Mr. Feeney was looking at him like, bro, I will bite your nose off. I will bite it off. Give me my cookie. So I was just like, yeah, you're getting a little too comfortable, Michael, eating a doggy cookie. Then he was going over the driving questions. I thought that was super sweet how he made note cards for her and was kind of quizzing her on the whole driving, so she can eventually get her license, because she doesn't. I didn't realize that she doesn't have a license because I think she's gotten in a car accident before, and so that's kind of made her hesitant about getting back on the road. And I've actually met someone like that, where it's a traumatic experience. They had a really bad accident, they have not gotten over it, and they just don't drive, so someone drives them everywhere. So I hope she gets over that. During the little driving practice test, I was just like, I'm glad you don't live in New York. Actually, if you live in, that might be good for you to live in New York, because you wouldn't need no car. You wouldn't need no license. You could just take public transportation, take the subway. You could do all of that. But yeah, she looked really timid. You can't be a timid driver. Not the way people drive. You gotta go out there and be like the boss, because they will run you off the road. So hopefully that works out. But I did like the whole experience and how he was trying to teach her something, and just their interaction. That seemed really cool. So the next couple of scenes, is Michael with his sister, and Jasmine with her friend. You know, I love the big sis. Her name is Claire. I didn't know her name before. So, hey sis, hey Claire. He was basically saying things are progressing, still no intimacy. And they both were pretty much saying the same thing, that communication has been better. Things are better, but that whole intimacy thing, things that would need to change for it to be a yes on decision day. So, of course, that makes sense for them. But I am glad to see that their communication is improving. Jasmina's facial expressions, they're improving as well. So I think they've definitely, I would go as far as to say they've come a long way. I will say that. So the last scene with them was the cooking scene. Michael was just like, yeah, she's been cooking for me, so I'm gonna cook for her. I was like, when she cooked? They must have cut that scene out, because I did not see the scene where she was cooking. I've seen scenes where they taking food out of the takeout, and one of the scenes I think tonight was where she was putting it on the plate and she brought it to you. But I ain't seen that girl cook. But whatever, he's cooking. And then she tastes, after it's ready, she tastes it and she's dancing like, So anytime somebody dance when they eating, they like it. So apparently he can throw down a little bit, at least one dish in the kitchen. So that was cool. But again, all in all, I like the progress that they're making. I don't think they're going to make it at the end, because it's really big for Jasmine to have a connection. Right now, they're working on the foundational. We just want to be friends and just enjoy each other's company. So that's just where they are. Could it, if they gave it more time, could it grow to be something? Yeah, but a lot of people in this experiment, they're only thinking about the eight weeks. If they was in a real marriage outside of this, yeah, you gonna have to work that out. But because that's what the experiment is, they give you that out of a divorce in 8 weeks. people gonna take that out. So I think if they long term, if they worked on it, I think they would be good together. But in 8 weeks, nah, they not. Next couple is Noi and Steve. First scene with them, Noi is joking about Steve's midday nap and how she's working. I'm sure she was boiling inside, and of course, as the episode goes on, we gonna see that come out. But yeah, how she was just like, oh, look at them, because Sushi was in there with Steve too. And she was like, oh, they're taking a nap, and I'm working. You hear that, Steve? I'm working. So it just wasn't a good look for Steve. And I know the producers, I know they're playing this up. I know, actually, I don't know how much you can play this up, but I know they cutting things so that they can really, stay on this whole topic of Steve jobless. I know y'all playing with our emotions with that. I get it. But it wasn't a good look when apparently it was a weekday when there's, Noi was working and he taking a nap. I know I would feel some type of way too, especially if that was already my issue. I'm just like, you ain't got no job. And then you sleeping in till like noon. And I'm up all early. I'm working. I'm going to be a little salty about that. So that's pretty much what played out there. And it's going to play out in the rest of the episode as well. So next scene with them, they took Sushi to get a bath or whatever. I don't have a dog. I don't have animals. So I didn't know there were places like that where you take your dog and you wash them and clean them yourself. I knew there were places where you drop them off and you come back in an hour and they all clean and pretty and smell good. That's probably what I would do, because I'm just like, because I'm sure they had to pay for that because they was using their resources like the water and stuff. If I'm going to pay you, you're going to do the whole thing. That's just how I feel. But anyway, Sushi wasn't feeling bad time. Sushi, as soon as they took that leash off, she ran straight for the door. She was like, y'all is not about to, nope. I like my stench. Leave me alone. So that was really funny. And then even after they bathed her and put the little jacket on, she still ran to the door. She was like, I am not playing with y'all. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be bathed. I didn't want to be bathed. Appreciate it. Thank you. But let's go. So that was kind of funny. I think once they walked out and they were talking a little bit, I go back and forth with, again, I don't have a dog. With Noi pushing Sushi on Steve, like I want to see how how he's gonna be taking care of Sushi, because then that'll show how he takes care of kids. I don't really think so, but again, I ain't got no dog. So for y'all who have dogs out there, let me know if there's some type of correlation between the way you take care of the dog and the way you gonna take care of a child. Maybe it's I don't know, but that was kind of that part. Like making him, let me see if you're going to pick up the poop with, I don't know. It's just that whole pushing Sushi on him like that. And he's rising to the occasion. So I really do appreciate that. And he even mentioned like, yeah, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to be there and, trying to bond with Sushi in some way. And he did make it slip out. He was like, yeah, I tried not to even kick her in the, when she's in the bed. So Sushi made it in the bed. Noi was not playing about that. So yeah, I just thought I'm not really feeling the whole pushing the whole dog on him. And then she mentioned, do you want another dog? And he was like, nah, I don't really want one dog. I definitely don't want two. Just like I don't want 3 kids. That was going on in his head. He didn't say it, but I'm speaking that's what happened in his head. So that was that whole that scene. They had a house chore conversation. At first I was split, but then as the episode went on, when Noi was talking to Sriracha and I think Steve was talking to whoever, I think his friend, it started more, I got more context, because initially it was just like she didn't want to do no chores. Like he was doing all the chores. And again, I honestly, I go back and forth, because you ain't got no job. Maybe you should do all the chores. But like I've said in the past, it has to be a conversation. Let's say it together. It has to be a conversation. If that is your expectation, y'all need to talk about it. Oh my gosh. Like one thing I wrote down was, when you get in relationships, specifically marriage, you have issues come up because of unmet expectations, unspoken expectations, and unrealistic expectations. There's another one, I can't remember it right now, but those are like, the top three. And so if you're not talking, they're unspoken. I don't know what's in your head. Let me know. I need to know. Can't read your mind. And so, and some of them are just unrealistic. Like, yo, we ain't gonna do this, so we need to talk about something else. And some of them are just unmet. Anyway, either way, all of them need to be talked about, and that's not what's happening. Ain't nobody talk about nothing. So that's an issue there. So they need to talk about, and I think that's a married person conversation. Me and my husband had that. Like, okay, what we gonna do? Who washing dishes? How do we go to sleep with no dishes in the sink? Can we have some dishes in the sink? Are we using the dishwasher? Who washing clothes? Who folding clothes? Who vacuuming? How often we vacuuming? Those are conversations that you actually need to have. You can't just go in it with, well, you ain't doing this. Well, that ain't what I did before you. So you expected me to do? We didn't talk about that. So those are things that they just need to talk about, along with other things. That's just one of the things they need to talk about. So just in that particular scenario, where he was just like, yeah, so you could do one bath, I do the other bathroom, and we can split chores with sushi. And yeah, and she was just like, well, you can kiss my A. I thought that was rude, but then on the after show, she was like, that's just how we banter back and forth. That's just kind of how we talk to each other. And Steve actually took it really well. He was like, oh, okay, we being spicy this early in the morning. I was just like, you gonna tell me to kiss? You kiss mine. I would have went back in. So I was like, Steve, he has a lot of constraint, because even the conversation when, again, I hate when I have to read captions, because I'm just like, they talking too fast. But just that whole situation where she was just like, I don't want to move in. He's like, why? And she was just like, I just don't feel comfortable. Well, I mean, we living together now, so how, we say yes on decision day, we just not gonna live together. We're married, you're married. And she proceeded to say out of her mouth, I mean, but there's couples that, are married and they live separately. The one of the spouses, they have an apartment. I said, what couples do you know who do that? Where they do that at? I don't know no successful couple that does. I've seen this on TV, and he was cheating though. It was Valentine's Day, and he was a doctor. And so apparently he was a heart surgeon, and he would always go, I don't know if he went away or he was just out late at night or whatever. So he didn't want to come back in the house and wake up his wife and child. So he had an apartment. No, bruh, you come and wake me up. I'm okay. You ain't gonna have no whole apartment. So that one, I was like, Noy, if your husband proposed that to you, would you be okay with that? No. But then it came out later, there was a situation where she was with a boyfriend and they lived together, and then they broke up, and then she had to basically, start over from scratch. This is not a boyfriend. This is a husband. It's totally different situation. But then it even further came out that she don't know about his finances. So she was just like, the whole combining things, she's a little leery about that. So it's just like things kept coming out in layers with Noy. She wouldn't say, and that's her issue. She has got, again, every single couple on this show they all need a communication seminar. If any of y'all out, they need a communication expert on the show, because that is like, every couple has that issue where it's just like, you cannot shut down. You have got to say what you feel. He's literally asking you, and he's asking you in a very unthreatening way. He was just like, well, why? And he's his voice is so calm and just so like, I would pour my heart out he seems like a very safe space to say how you feel about stuff. Like Olajuwon, that ain't a safe space. You can't never ever get your feelings out with him. But with Steve, it's just like, he is just asking you, and he asks with a very calm voice, well, what's wrong? Why do you feel uncomfortable? How do you, how are we supposed to proceed and move forward if we're not living together? So he's actually asking very valid questions, and he's asking them in a calm way, because I would not have been calm. Oh, no. This girl here, she wouldn't have been calm. So I'm just like, no, bro, you I hate to, you got a good one in Steve, besides the job, but you got a good one in him. So it just seems like, I don't know, she has communication issues. We saw that with Noodlegate, how she just gonna walk out and not say anything, and then how she expresses herself on social media versus talking to him. And he specifically asked, do not do that. And yet again, she did it. So Noi is starting to annoy me through her actions. They're very childish, very, very childish. She definitely needs to grow up. Steve definitely is like worlds above her in the communication game. Shoot, maybe he should, and I might have said this before, he might need to teach the seminar on communication because he does it so well. But anyway, so that was that. Then they met with their friends. So Noi met with Sriracha. Steve met with his friend. I don't think I got too much out of the Steve and his friend conversation. I want to say, I don't even know if I didn't really get too much out of their conversation. Noi and Sriracha's always going to be just fun to watch because of her expressions, her attitude, her vibe. So you just, even if she don't say nothing that you agree with, you just be like, girl, you funny. So she was just not on board for some of the stuff, how Noi, and everyone's always going to explain it in their own different way. It's their perspective. So Sriracha's only getting a one-sided perspective from Noi. Again, I get where they're both coming from. I am of the mindset of, if you ain't working, I would probably expect you to do some of the house chores, all of the house chores. You ain't doing nothing else. But again, we would have to have that conversation. Basically, it's again, the real reason was coming out regarding why she doesn't want to move in with him. And it's basically because he ain't got no job. All right, so the last scene, it's not the last scene, but I just want to recap Mark and Steve's conversation, which is going to be super quick. They're throwing a ball around on the beach. And then my biggest note, I was like, Mark, don't take no job advice from Steve. He ain't got no job. I was like, how dare Steve try to interject his opinion and his views on jobs to Mark. Mark, boy, close your ears. Do not listen to him. Do not listen. You know your wife will get you. Don't listen to him. He ain't got no job. So that was the biggest takeaway from that. I was just like, no. But he was telling, Steve was telling Mark, I got plenty of savings. And then I was just like, and I've heard, other people say this too, but who lives off of their savings? Like, do you hear rich people saying, I live off of my savings? No, you don't. Their savings, that's their savings. So why would you want to live off yours? It's great you have it. Kudos to you for having the savings, but to say, I have a great savings, you're living off of it. And who does that on purpose? If I lost my job, you do want to have what's like 6 to 8 months, like, I don't know, a certain amount of time of savings so that if you did lose your job, you're still able to live. But that ain't on purpose. That's because you lost your job. It ain't because you want to do it. So that part, I was like, Steve, please don't fill Mark's head with this. This not good. And Mark, don't you listen. Just the whole conversation was ridiculous to me. And then he mentioned, if I'm gonna get a job, I need to know what the plan is. I thought that was dumb. If I'm going to get a job, I need to know what the plan is. The plan is to make money. I was like, I had to think about it. I said, if I was to get a job, I need to know what the plan is. Steve, you're a very rational guy, but that was very irrational. Like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in life. The plan is to make money. That's what you need to get a job for. But I will say the biggest takeaway was plan. Y'all need a plan, and y'all need to talk about the plan together. You need to talk about your money plan and your job plan, and she needs to just talk. So there's definitely a missing conversation. I think when Noi was talking to Sriracha, she mentioned the plan thing came up again. Like, he wants to sit down and talk about a plan before he gets a job. I think that's dumb to say I need a plan before I get a job. But Noy does need to be open to talk. But yeah, I would not, Steve, use that as an excuse of why you can't get a job. That is not a prerequisite to getting a job. Talking about your plan. The job is the job. The plan is a plan. Plan needs to happen. Job needs to happen. That's just what it is. But he was just talking about, again, same thing from early in the season. If I get a job, it's going to stifle my creativity for where we can be in the future and what we could be together. Again, dumb. I think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So keep that there. Yeah, again, the only thing that made sense in this conversation was plan. So we're going to go there. So that's all I have for tonight's episode. Hope you enjoy my review. Don't forget to drop anything, any of your comments, just drop it down below. I definitely read them. If I don't comment, I definitely heart them. But I love seeing you guys engaged and coming back. So until next week for episode 13, we're getting closer to decision day. I will see you later.